Welcome to our first lesson in graphing economics. In this video, you will learn what goes into a basic supply and demand analysis and how to graphically represent the relationship between price, supply, and demand. The law of demand states that the quantity of any good demanded has an inverse relationship to the price. That is, they move in opposite directions. We show this relationship using a two-axis graph with the price on the y-axis and the quantity demanded on the x-axis. This results in a curve, even though it is a straight line here, labeled D, that slopes down and to the right. As you can see, as the price increases along the y-axis, the quantity demanded decreases along the x-axis. The quantity supplied at the lower price is represented by the green line, and the higher price by the red. This intersection of the price and quantity demanded is always a point on the demand curve. The law of supply, on the other hand, reflects that the relationship between price and the quantity supplied is a direct one. As the price increases, the quantity supplied also increases. On our x and y axis graph, this is represented by a curve that goes up and to the right, labeled S. As the price increases along the y-axis, the quantity supplied increases along the x-axis. Again, the quantity supplied at the lower price is represented by the green line, and at the higher price by the red. The intersection of the price and quantity lines is a point on the supply curve. What happens when we put the two curves, supply and demand, together? On our price and quantity graph, we now have both the supply and demand curves. The point where they come together is the equilibrium price. It's the point where quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. This begs the question, what happens when we set a price that is above or below the equilibrium price? We start with our price and quantity graph containing both the supply and demand curves and the equilibrium price in green. When we increase the price, shown by this red line, it intersects the supply and demand curves in different places. Since at that price, the quantity suppliers are willing to provide is higher than the quantity demanded by consumers, we have a surplus of goods equal to the difference between those 2 points. When we decrease the price, shown by this purple line, it once again intersects the supply and demand curves in different places. Since at that lower price, the quantity suppliers are willing to provide is less than the quantity demanded by consumers, we have a shortage of goods equal to the difference between the 2 points. In both cases, when faced with a shortage or surplus, prices will eventually be forced to fall or rise back into equilibrium. Don't forget, price and quantity demanded move in opposite directions. As price increases, the quantity demanded by consumers goes down. Conversely, as price decreases, consumers will demand more. Price and supply move in the same direction. As price increases, the quantity firms are willing to supply increases, and vice versa. The equilibrium price is where the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. And finally, surpluses and shortages are created when the actual price falls above or below the equilibrium price. Coming up next, be sure to join us for our next lesson where we will learn the circumstances under which the supply or demand curves move, changing the quantity supplied or demanded without changing the price.